Okay, so we have seen different types of simple permanent tissue. Number one is in parenchyma, number two is in collenchyma, number three is in sclerenchyma. Let's discuss about the parenchyma. So parenchyma, the cells are larger in size compared to the meristematic cells. Okay, what is the meaning of parenchyma? So where do we get this word? So we get the parenchyma. It is derived from the Greek language. Para means besides, and encheins means to pour. Okay, so what is parenchyma? It forms a ground tissue. The main function of the parenchyma to form a ground tissue, and they are living tissue. The parenchyma tissues are living, and the cells of the parenchyma are thin walled. The cells of the parenchyma having a thin wall. Okay, and the cell wall of the parenchymatous cells made up of the special material called cellulose. The cell wall of the parenchyma is made up of cellulose, special materials. Okay, got it? The shape may be the oval shape or polyhedral shape or cylindrical shape, irregular shapes, or certain cases armed shape. And we can see in parenchyma that very visible prominent, the prominent intercellular space. Prominent intercellular space. So what is the parenchyma? This parenchyma is a simple permanent tissue. It forms a ground tissues, as well as it is a living tissue and thin cell walled cells. Okay, and the cell wall of the parenchymatous cells are made up of cellulose, and the shape of the parenchyma may be oval shape or polyhedral shapes or rectangle shape or irregular shapes. So okay, and we can see the visible intercellular space. So you will be identifying the intercellular space. Intercellular space. Thin cell wall. Thin cell wall. So made up of, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Alright. This is in parenchymatous cells. So look at the structures of the parenchyma. The size of the cells is bigger compared to the meristematic cells. They have the prominent intercellular space, and these cells are living cells. These cells are living cells and forms a ground tissues. Got it? Okay. So not only it is a living tissues, and it is also involved in certain activities, storage, turgidity, conduction of water, so partial conduction, okay, conduction of water through parenchymatous cells. Okay, so parenchyma playing different roles. So one is in storage purpose, and another in turgidity, conduction of waters. So this is a partial conduction of water through the parenchymatous cells. Okay, so maximum what it will store? Water, salt, organic substance, resin, So all these things, so water, salts, organic substance, these are all stored in the parenchymatous cells. Okay, are they colorful? No, they are colorless. Colorless. Certain cases, the parenchymatous cells, they store resin. The parenchymatous cells, resin, along with that, the crystals of calcium carbonate, the crystals of calcium carbonate and calcium oxalate. So certain cases, the parenchymatous cells, they store the resin, crystals of calcium carbonate and calcium oxalate. They are collaterally. They are known as idioblast. Idioblast. So idioblast is formed of resins, crystals of calcium carbonate and calcium oxalate. Got it? So let's move on. So different types of parenchyma. Let's move on. Different types of parenchyma. So how we can get the different types of parenchyma? Based on their function. So based on their functions, we have different types of parenchyma. Based on functions, based on function as well as structure. So parenchyma is classified into number one is parenchyma. Okay, so number two is parenchyma. So number three is storage parenchyma. Storage parenchyma. Then we paranchyma. Then you can see the stellate parenchyma. So parenchyma. So these are the different types of parenchyma. One is an parenchyma, chlorenchyma, storage parenchyma, paranchyma, stellate parenchyma. Parenchyma, they change their positions and role according to the need of the plant. Okay, so certain parenchymas are involved in the photosynthesis activity. Certain parenchymas are involved in making the plant to float on the water, buoyancy. Making the plant to float on the water. That's we call it buoyancy. We might have studied in the physics thrust and pressure. So buoyancy. When we submerge any objects into the water, then the objects will be repelled by the water. The force expelled by the water on the objects. So that makes the object to float on the water. So equal force. Force is given downward towards the water and the water also giving upward towards the object. So that makes the objects to float on the water. That's we call it a buoyancy. Okay, that's we call it a buoyancy. Certain parenchyma, they do the role of parenchyma activity, making the plant to float on the water. Okay, certain parenchyma, they involved in the photosynthesis activity. They are known as a chlorenchyma. Okay, certain parenchyma, they store the food material like a starch. Okay, fatty acids, proteins, all these things. So they are involved in the storage activity. Paranchyma, giving a mechanical support. Okay, certain cases parenchyma gives a mechanical support. That's we call it an paranchyma. Then last one, that is the specialized parenchyma. It is having a star-shaped cells. Star-shaped cells. That's we call it an stellate parenchyma. We will find in the petiole of the banana. Star-shaped cells are found in the petiole of the banana. That's we call it an stellate parenchyma. Stellate parenchyma. Where will you identify the parenchyma? Parenchyma. In which plants we will identify? Aquatic plants. Example, hydrilla. So in hydrilla we will identify parenchyma. Okay. So chlorenchyma. Where do we identify the chlorenchyma? Mesophyll of the leaf. Mesophyll of the leaves. So in mesophyll of the leaves we will identify the chlorenchyma. The storage parenchyma, it will be identified in the roots and tuberals of the most of the plants. Okay. Prosenchyma. So where will you identify? In the petiole of the maximal leaf and in the young stem. So in the young stems we will identify the prosenchyma. Stellate parenchyma, already I told, it is identified. It is found in the petiole of the banana. Okay. Let's see the different structure. This parenchyma, how it will be. So in parenchyma you are able to visualize they are having a lot of large space of intercellular space. Intercellular space. Space, the air cavity, which helps the plants to float under water, buoyancy. Got it? That's good. So in chlorenchyma, rod-shaped cells. So this is we call it in palisade parenchyma. We find in the leaf palisade parenchyma. Then spongy parenchyma. Palisade and spongy. So where we can identify this one? Mesophyll of parenchyma. Sorry, mesophyll of leaves. Okay, palisade parenchyma, spongy parenchyma. So these are all the chlorophyll, chloroplast. So either the chloroplast, number of chloroplasts will be less or more based on the the habitat of the leaf as well as the photosynthetic activity of the leaf. Okay, fine. So let's move on to the next topic, that is a colon chyma. So in colon chyma, what is cola? Cola means glue, and chyma, cola means glue. Pack. So chyma cells.